I can prove to anybody, in anybody, I can prove it, that in the last, I want to say maybe the last 10 years, I haven't had no denials. When I give you an approval, a pre-approval, we're going to close that deal.
We definitely need here every Friday with us.
Yeah, because she knows what she's doing, but she doesn't want to commit. No commit.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Talk Miami. I'm Luis Perez, as usual, joined by Javier Gonzalez, Jasmine Mousset, and today we have a very special guest, one of the leading mortgage advisors here in Miami, Florida, Alberto Cobo with Banker's Choice. Now, before we get on with the show, for those of you guys who don't know who we are, on the Real Talk Miami, our goal is to bring you guys the inside scoop on all things real estate here in Miami, Florida. Not only will we be talking amongst ourselves, but we'll also be interviewing industry leaders like we're doing here today. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. How you guys doing?
Good
to be back.
Thank you for the invitation, everybody.
Absolutely.
And my name is Alberto Cobo with Banker's Choice Mortgage. Nice to be here.
Yes, and I think we were talking before the show. This is your first podcast, right?
Yes.
What an honor!
Wow, I'm nervous.
Relax and enjoy the ride.
You're a veteran, man. Because you told me you had like a radio show at one point.
Oh yeah, in the radio. Yes, I've been in the radio many times.
Many times. Yeah.
What was the name of the show?
Well, I was in Radio Caracol one time, La Poderosa, Radio Mambi.
Wow.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yes, I've been with your father in Radio...
Radio Mambi?
La Poderosa.
La Poderosa.
Yes.
Bueno, that is the equivalent of a podcast nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. So you're familiar with mics and with all this we have here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Believe me, I'm not too nervous. I get nervous when I have 3 clients at the same time in the office.
That's a good problem.
That's a good headache to have.
That's a great headache, right? That's one we all want.
Yeah. We need that kind.
Yeah, man. So let's start a little bit with your story. You know, who you are, how you got started in the mortgage industry, and just go on with your story.
Well, I started in the mortgage lending business back in, really was in 1991.
1981.
I was working for a mortgage lender in Coral Gables, and then I got my license in 93. But I was working without a license. When you work for a lender, in those days, you didn't need a license.
Okay.
But then I got my mortgage broker license back in 1993. And then 2 years later, 1995, I opened Banker's Choice. Banker's Choice Mortgage. We've been there for 30 years.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow, a long time. And guys, I've been through good times. I've been through a lot of rough and difficult times. But we are a fighter. We've been there.
Now, take us before that. Before you got into the mortgage industry, what was it that you were doing?
I was in real estate.
You were in real estate before
I was
the mortgage
a realtor.
industry?
Back in 86, I sold real estate into 1991, 92.
Okay.
And then I decided to move to the mortgage business.
What led you to make the switch?
Well, I have two friends that I used to work in. Can I say name of companies or?
Yeah, sure. If you're not, as long as you're not bashing.
Well, I work in Century 21
Oh, you did?
and Coldwell Banker.
Okay.
So back in the 80s. So I had two friends that they moved to another company in Coral Gables. And one of the secretaries, she moved also to another company.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, Albert, come over here. I'm going to introduce you to all these realtors here so they can give you the mortgages.
Okay.
One of the offices in Coral Gables, they had more than 200 realtors.
Wow.
200?
So when I went there and I saw that, wow, the amount of business that I can get from that office, but I needed to have my license, the real estate license, inactive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conflict
Because
of
I'm not
interest.
going to get business from realtors if I'm a realtor, right?
Of course.
So what I did was I said, wait a minute, I'm going to put my license inactive. with the real estate business. I was doing very well in real estate, by the way. I was getting a lot of listings, but I was getting more business
to the mortgage side.
In the mortgage side, because this friend of mine and the other lady, they put me right in the top in the mortgage industry.
You saw the opportunity and you chased it.
Oh, yes. I was closing 15, 20 loans a month.
Wow.
Myself. Myself and I.
All by yourself?
No team? Okay.
Not even a team?
You alone?
Huh?
No team, nothing? This is you?
No, me, only me. Wow. That's it. I was working for a mortgage company.
A lot of money.
Then I decided to open in 1995 Banker's Choice. Then I hired loan officers, and that's how we switched from real estate to the mortgage business.
Okay.
Which I love the real estate business. Let me tell you, I love it.
Well, they're both correlated. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
Basically.
Hand in hand.
The real estate business needs the mortgage.
Okay.
And the mortgage needs real estate.
And I'm assuming I know the answer to the question, but I'd love it if you can go into some detail. How would you say having your real estate license helped you in the mortgage business?
Oh, big time. Big time, because a lot of mortgage loan officers up there, they don't know what the realtor goes through. Okay. They don't know what it is to show 10 properties, put an offer, get a counter offer, and then they didn't come to an agreement, and they got to keep showing properties,
it's not fun.
the inspections, the appraisals. When you're a realtor, you know all those headaches.
Easy to burn out.
I learned that in the real estate business. So when I went to the mortgage, I already know what the realtors goes through, all the headaches that the real estate agents goes through. So, and we got to work side by side. I put my hat as a realtor when I'm talking to a realtor.
Yeah.
And then that's part of my success. Why? Because I know the real estate business and in the mortgage business. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, because the only expert is the mighty God in this world.
Absolutely.
But I'm close to God. God, I'm hanging in there. Okay?
Give me some more wisdom.
Believe me, and it's not only me. It's not in my office. It's not only me. Is my wife, which is my underwriter, Orlando, my assistant that you guys know, Orlando and Sandy. When we talk to a client, it's 3 people talking to a client.
No, whenever I get a client on the phone, I hear Orlando in the background. Hey, ese file
hey, that cannot be done, and this and that, and then Sandy screaming on the other side. No, wait a minute, you got to do it this way. Not FHA, we got to go conventional. Yeah. And
that's a great team, you guys.
It's a great team, man. I can prove to anybody in anybody, I can prove it, that in the last, I want to say maybe the last 10 years, I haven't had no denials. When I give you an approval, a pre-approval, we're going to close that deal.
That's amazing. It's good to have a team you can count on.
Why? Because we make sure that the client give us all the documents that we need before they go and see properties. And it's not only me looking at the documents. Sandy's looking at the documents. Orlando is looking at the documents.
And I think that's important. And that is definitely one of the reasons why we have always chosen to work with you, because of that accountability, the fact that you guys check your documentation and you don't give an answer without being sure of it. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between you and other companies on the market. Right? Just to reel in the client, they'll give them an answer and then come to see it a month later, right? It's not a for sure approval.
Right. Yeah.
On the contrary to you, when you give an approval, it's 100% guaranteed.
It's done.
Yeah.
We run the credit. We see the income documentation, the money in the bank. You're ready to go. But we got to see all that. And then once you show the property, then we're going to look at the property that they want to make the offer. Because in the MLS, we can see, hey, how old is the roof? Do they have windows, hurricane windows? Do they, all that. Is the garage converted to a efficiency? Right. Do they have a second?
In the process.
Yeah. Why? Because, you have to go through all the details.
Absolutely.
And that's part, I mean, that's the success in this business.
Not only does it help the client, but it also helps the realtor working hand
The
in hand.
realtor, I know. And it's not only doing that, is that I give service to the realtors. My number one client is the realtor. Okay? 7 days a week. You call me in a Sunday. I might be in my boat fishing up there, but I'm going to answer your phone. I'm going to tell you, Luisito, I'm here fighting a dolphin. Let me call you back when I get back to the marina.
That's true. And take us way back. What were you like growing up? Because I'm, for example, a lot of people don't know this. You were a veteran, right?
Yes.
Of the U.S. military. What led to that point? Because I mean, I really want to get deep into like the transition. Like, because how did you end up? You went from the military to, I think it was, you were telling us pest control, something like that.
Yeah. Well, when I was 19 years old, I went to the Army.
Wow.
So I learned how to shoot the rifle. Okay. And then I got an honorable discharge.
Honorably discharged.
From the Army. And then I'm a veteran. But then I went through a lot of jobs. When you get out of the Army, believe me, is now you have to find a job. And then I work in a gas station, pumping. Back then, we didn't have cell service. God, that's going to tell me how old I am.
You just gave yourself.
You're aging yourself.
I'm 30 years old. Okay, we didn't have cell service in the station. We had full service.
Okay.
So I was pumping gas, and I loved it. You know, then I learned how to drive the...
Sorry to interrupt, but that's not gone completely, because I was in New York a few weeks back.
Sometimes you see
and there was a gas station that we stopped at, and there was a gentleman pumping gas, and it was the first time that I saw that.
Okay.
So it's not gone. It's not outdated just yet.
Yeah, all right. Good to know. Yeah, perfect. And then after that, I switched to another job. Then I went to the pest control business. Pest control, commercial. Doing restaurants and clubs, Burger Kings, McDonald's, exterminating a night.
Okay.
A night. That was back in 1984, 85. Then I used to get home. This is a funny story. Okay. I used to get home around 5 o'clock in the morning, full of pesticides and sometimes a little roach hanging in my pants. Okay, I used to take off my clothes in the backyard, come inside the house in underwear, take a shower. But I used to turn on the television because I didn't feel like going to sleep so fast. Then I used to see in television this program, How to Become a Millionaire Buying and Selling Real Estate. I remember the name of the person, Dave Delgado. Dave Delgado.
Of course, we weren't alive.
Yes. And you know what happened? I purchased those books. The cassettes.
So that was a pivotal moment.
Yes.
That was a pivotal moment. That's what I was looking for.
I purchased, yes. I purchased those, the tapes. It was like books and tapes. Then at night, I was jumping from fumigating one restaurant to the other one, listening to the tapes. Listening to the tapes. I swear to God, this is a true story. Okay, I'm not lying. Then that motivates me. That motivates me to get into the real estate business. Then I tried to purchase a home, a foreclosure back then in Mango Hill.
Okay.
It was a townhouse condominium, Mango Hill. It was in foreclosure. I tried to buy it so I can flip it, for a profit. Then I say, wait a minute, before I sign the contract, let me show this to my attorney. And I had an attorney in Hialeah I showed the contract to my attorney, and she told me, son, do me a favor. Get your real estate license. Because if you buy this, learn the real estate business, and then you purchase, you do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because homes in Mango Hill are red lined. There's no financing in this neighborhood.
That was that back then.
Back then, you had the red lining. The banks, they didn't do financing in Mango Hill.
Oh.
Not at all.
So I had to purchase cash, full cash.
Right. And then if I buy that townhouse to flip it,
Yeah, it was going to be a big problem.
it
That's
was going to be a
big
problem.
Yeah.
When I got out of the attorney's office, I swear to God, I went to a 7-Eleven looking for to buy the newspaper
Okay.
to see where can I get my real estate license.
Where did you get your real estate license? Because Century 21 had a real estate school back then.
I know, and I went to that school.
Okay.
But that was after I got my license.
Okay.
I went to that school that it used to be in Palmetto Expressway. Big office. No, I got it with Better Homes and Gardens.
Oh, okay.
Better Homes and Gardens, back then they used to give you the class for free if you start working with them.
Wow.
So they gave me the class. I went to the state test, passed the class, the test, got my license. Then I started working there in Better Homes and Gardens. But then I saw more listings in the street because I learned this, that you want to work where you see a lot of listings, the sign outside, like Century 21 have a lot of listings up there, not only for one office, several offices.
Yeah.
And then I saw a lot of Coldwell Banker. Back then, Ginny Baker, Statler, those offices that they're not
Around
in business anymore, but and Century 21. ERA Realty also. But then I started in Coldwell Banker, and then I went to Century 21.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Great company, Century 21 and Coldwell Banker too. And today we have great companies.
So
Keller Williams is a great company, and many good companies.
I'd love to ask, what was your why? So we know that you were working different jobs and it interested you, but what was the why in making the switch aside from the interest, or was it just a passion? Like, was there another motivator, financially speaking? Was it
making the switch from where to where?
From pest control to real estate.
Oh no, pest control. I did that just in the meantime that I find another job.
Okay.
You were jumping.
So you were not satisfied with where you were at currently. You wanted something more for yourself.
I wasn't satisfied working, killing bugs at night.
You wanted a better life for yourself.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I was planning. As a matter of fact, I applied for the post office because I was a veteran, for the police department, UPS. But once I started in the real estate business, I saw the potential of making a lot more money than working for those other companies.
And I just want to emphasize, because that's why I asked the question, what was your why? It's so important to understand your why in this business. If the why is not big enough to move you, to make you want to be on the verge of crying, not necessarily that you have to cry, but if it's not big enough to move you, then all you will ever do is just get the license and that's it. So your why was big enough to get you to start a career in real estate and then take it to the next level.
Oh, yes. I saw the top producers in the office. I saw this gentleman that I'm still a friend of his. Today, he's not a young man anymore, but he's still selling real estate. Wow. He was one of the top producers. He came from Cuba, from I think it was from Mariel or
in the raft.
He was a prisoner in Cuba.
Oh, that's a political prisoner.
Something like that. He came from Cuba, and he had the desire to sell real estate, and he taught me a lot. And then I was looking at him, and he was like the top producer in the board there. I said, wait a minute, if he's up there, I gotta catch up with him. If he's doing it, I got to do it too. Yeah. And I did it.
Yeah, because he showed you that it was possible.
It was possible. This man had the desire, the the burning desire
The passion.
to succeed. And he did it. But I had the burning desire too.
Yeah.
You know, and boom,
That's really
here
beautiful.
we are.
Amazing. Let's go get deep in the industry. What's one of your biggest challenges when you are trying to qualify someone to buy a house?
The biggest challenges was I started in the real estate business in May, in the month of May in 86. My first closing was in December.
Wow.
I had all these, well, how many months?
7 months.
Maybe 7 months
Yeah.
without putting money in my pocket.
That's similar to me.
A lot of people quit. A lot of people that start in the real estate business, they don't give themselves time to learn the business and let's make it happen. In December, I remember, I'm not going to say the name, but I still remember the name of the client. A house in Westchester. I think I sold the house for $49,000 or $59,000. But the name of the client is still here.
That was your first client.
Yes. But I got paid in December. That was a challenge. But then after that, it was one closing right after the other. Boom. And my manager used to tell me, Albert, you are successful. I say, I'm successful. Where's the money? No, look at the listings that you have. And you have buyers. Come on, keep on going, you know. And then after that.
What about for the mortgage side? What was your biggest challenge? I think that's the question that you were asking,
My
right?
biggest challenge, Javier, in the mortgage industry was in the year 2009, when
After
the crash. That, you know what it is, that we had, I don't know how many loans in the pipeline to close. And then all the banks that we were doing business with, they went out of business.
Wow.
People couldn't close those homes. We had to cancel the loans. People crying. It was a disaster. In 2009, that was the biggest challenge in my... But that lasted only for about... you know what? When that happened, because we were FHA approved, you know what I started doing? Reverse mortgages. A lot of reverse mortgages.
Were you one of the few to
No,
be doing it at the time?
we had a company, a big company, they're not open anymore, but they used to do a lot of reverse mortgages. But I know an attorney that your dad know her. She used to refer me a lot of reverse mortgage, and she told me, Albert, get into the reverse mortgage business. I say, Millie, her name is Millie.
Yeah.
Millie, I don't want to do that. I said, you better do it because it's in demand right now.
Yeah, I want to know why was it in demand during that particular moment in time?
Because
I feel like the
people
world was
needed
ending.
money.
Needed money. That's what I was going to answer. I
People
wasn't
needed
there,
money.
but
Makes
that was.
sense.
And they used to go to their parents' house, to the grandmom's house,
To ask.
to do a reverse mortgage,
Take out the
cash out
cash.
money,
Cash out.
to bail them out of foreclosure because everybody was in foreclosure.
Wow.
So what happened? They went to the parents' house, to the mom's house, to the grandparents' house,
To take
and then
out a
we used to
reverse mortgage.
refinance with a reverse mortgage, cash out 80% of the value of the home. Today, you cannot do that in reverse mortgage.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Let's go for our viewers. Let's try to explain a little bit what is a reverse mortgage. So our viewers today know a little bit about
Reverse
that.
mortgage, you need to be 62 years old or older. 62 years old or older. And you have to own the property and you have to have equity. For example, if the house is worth $700,000 and you owe $100,000, we can do a reverse mortgage and cash out $200,000, whatever the amount
What's
is.
the maximum
It depends on the age of the person.
age of the person?
Yeah. We have a computer system, a government portal that we put it in, and it gives me the numbers.
So correct me if I'm wrong, of course, as a mafia, but it's kind of a HELOC. Kind of.
Okay, you're yeah. Well, yes, because the reverse mortgage is a HELOC.
Okay.
It's a HELOC. You're right, 100%. See, and you don't know nothing about reverse mortgage. Yes, it's a HELOC, but the people want to get all the money out.
Yeah.
And they don't have to pay back.
That's the attractive part.
The payments. You don't pay mortgage payment. I give you money. Let's say I give you $250,000, and you don't pay a mortgage payment. But you got the money. You don't have a mortgage payment, and you know.
The only time you have to pay it back is basically when you sell.
When you sell the house, or you refinance. Or when they passed away, then the heirs take over the title, take over the house.
Yeah.
Now they have to sell the house or refinance and pay off the reverse mortgage.
The reverse mortgage. Interesting.
I still do reverse mortgages today. Back in those days, in 2009, I used to close, I'm not kidding. I mean, and again, I can prove this. Anywhere from 8 to 15 reverse mortgages a month.
Wow.
Jeez.
I used to go at night. I used to get home around 9, 10 o'clock at night because a lot of seniors, they don't drive.
Okay.
And so I used to go to their home. I purchased a copy machine in Office Depot. One of those portable one. I had a big carrying case. I used to go into the house with my copy machine. Why? Because I had to make copy of the driver's license, social security number, social security card, the insurance of the house, a lot of documents. So I used to take a copy machine, connect it to the house, and make my copies there.
Oh my!
That was before the cellular came out,
right?
Because we didn't have this technology that we have today.
The printers weren't wireless.
Today
either.
you don't need that because you take today with your phone, you scan the documents.
And I'm sure back then you were carrying around a printer that was not wireless, so you had to bring the cables with you and stuff.
Oh yes, but it was so funny.
Go. What I'd like to know is, so we've been talking about the refinancing and whatnot during 2009. What do you think you and your team did back then that got you through that period?
Number one, never did fraud. And I'm proud of it. Never got into fraud or illegal stuff because all the banks and FHA started auditing mortgage companies. Never did fraud. So we were FHA approved. We were doing FHA loans. Reverse mortgages. By the way, reverse mortgage is an FHA mortgage. Okay. So we never got into trouble. That's why I'm still here.
But aside from that, right?
The angle I think you're taking is like...
What I'm saying is, obviously you didn't do fraud and that's why you're here today, but is there anything that you and your team did that can attribute to why you've stayed in business? Because even though you didn't do fraud, the times were bad at that moment.
It was bad.
Because you knock more doors.
It was bad. Working hard, working many hours on weekends. Why? Because before it was super easy to qualify a client. We had the no income verification programs. 5%. We had a program, 5% down payment. If you had, I think it was 680 credit score or more, with 5% down payment, you can buy a house, no income verification.
Wow.
It was easy to do. No, now you have to go full-time. I mean, not full-time, full doc. You have to know the mortgage business. So what it helped me go through all that difficult time was the knowledge.
The knowledge.
Knowledge that I have, my wife, Orlando, my other processors, because I had 5 processors in the office.
we definitely need here every Friday with us.
Yeah, because she knows what she's doing, but she doesn't want to commit. No commitment.